This video is a bit different from what I usually post, but I'm going to show you how to book your flight, especially if it's your first time. I use expedia.com because it's pretty simple and straightforward. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is create an account if you don't have one, which you probably won't. So you can easily sign up with Google. Then you get to the home page. So on the home page, you're going to go to flights, and you can either book a round trip or one way. So round trip is you're booking your flight from Jamaica to the US, and you're also booking your flight from the US back to Jamaica. So you're booking to and from at the same time. So that's round trip. For one way, it's just from Jamaica to the US. I don't like to book round trip, so I'll choose one way. Alright, so leaving from Jamaica's two airports, Kingston, Montego Bay. I prefer Montego Bay because it generally has better flights and better prices. So I'm going to choose that. For going to, you should talk to your agency and find out which airports they offer pickups from. So that way you'll know where you're going to land. Or if your family is picking you up, you need to figure out where they're coming to pick you up, at which airport. So anyways, I will choose Baltimore. And departure date, go ahead and choose alright, let's say the 25th, and then you just click search. Alright, so these are our options, and that brings me to my next point. If you notice at the top, there are different dates with different prices, and if you notice, Thursday there's 153, Friday 181, and so on and so forth. And if you want to view the full calendar, you can click here and you'll see prices going across. These are just the minimum prices for each day, and I'm going to show you why you don't want to choose the cheapest flights. Alright, so here's an example. Thursday 153, Spirit Airlines, and let's click on the flight details. So this page is very important because up here it tells you when you're leaving Jamaica, that's 1:15 p.m. And you're arriving at your destination at 11:55 p.m. That's basically midnight. Down here now you have 9 hours and 44 minutes with one stop. This is the total flight time. So from your depart to the moment you land, this is the complete time, which is very important. So 9 hours 40 minutes, that's not terrible, that's decent. This now is the layover. So because the flight has stops and it's not a direct flight, you will be spending 5 hours and 10 minutes in Fort Lauderdale. So, and it goes to explain. So you leave Montego Bay at 1:15, you fly for 1 hour and 55 minutes, then you arrive at 4:10 in Fort Lauderdale, you stay at the airport for 5 hours, then you depart 9:20 p.m. and then you reach Baltimore 11:55 p.m. So it's a 2-part flight, and it has 1 5-hour layover. Now this is the detail section, which is pretty much why I wouldn't recommend Spirit or Frontier. So you're paying for seat choice if you want to choose your seats. If not, they'll assign it to you randomly. If you want to cancel your flight, they'll charge you a fee. If you want to change your flight date, they also charge you a fee. You get to bring a personal item, which is usually a backpack, a handbag, a purse, something like that, where you take it on the flight and you put it below the seat in front of you. Alright, I guess now is a good time to talk about the three types of baggages. You have personal item, you have carry-on, which is up to a 22-inch suitcase, which goes in the overhead bin on the flight, and you have checked bags, which are bigger suitcases which go into the storage of the airplane. Alright, so they are charging you $35 to $100 for a carry-on, which is, it's not included in the base fare, which is rather annoying. And again, you're paying for checked bag. You may not need a checked bag when you're going, but carry-on is important. So this is why I would avoid Spirit and Frontier. They don't offer the carry-on in the base fare, and also it's just a very cheap basic. They don't offer in-flight snacks, they don't offer in-flight service at all. It's like a half a tree bus in the sky. Yeah, and it's not a great experience, so I would get rid of this immediately. Alright, so I would come over to filter and click carry-on bag included. Very important. Alright, so looking at this now, I'm seeing this is decent, this is decent. Alright, the next tip is you want to book as early as possible. So I actually booked this one, and I think it was like $230 something. The base fare was $202, and it went up just in a few hours. So prices change all the time. If you don't see a good flight, keep checking. And you also want to check nearby dates. Don't get fixated on one date. So let me show you Kingston, flying from Kingston. Alright, so the same date, same everything, but we're flying from Kingston this time. Again, Spirit, you want to avoid carry-on bag included. So if you notice here, this is something you also want to look out for and you want to avoid. And if you look at the total flight time, it's 20 hours 50 minutes, 20 hours 27 hours 27 hours. So from the moment you leave Jamaica to the time you land at your destination, it's going to take 20 hours to 27 hours in this case, and that's a lot of time. You'll be tired, you'll be stressed. You want to avoid flights like these. So let me click on one. So it's saying you have 2 stops. You have 3 hours and 39 minutes in Miami, and then you have 11 hours in JFK, New York. You don't want to be sitting at an airport by yourself for 11 hours. I would say a layover up to say 5 hours is somewhat tolerable. The lower the better, of course, but don't do this to yourself. Please avoid it. And this brings me to something else. So the arrival time, you need to, this is 12:39 p.m. midnight. So you want to talk to your agency or your family and see what time they are available to pick you up. So if you land at midnight, you might have to wait until the next morning before someone comes to pick you up. So you need to discuss that sort of thing. But anyways, these flights are pretty much garbage. So yeah, let's go back to Montego Bay. Alright, so Montego Bay, we're gonna work with this. Again, carry-on bag included. Very important. So I'm seeing American here and I'm seeing Delta. So for this one, it's leaving Jamaica 11:50 a.m. and it's arriving 10:56 p.m., which is decent. And there's a 4 hour and 42 minutes layover in New York at JFK. I think this is a great option, and also the Delta, which I am on. And this one is it's a little more expensive, but it's a 3 hour and 50 minutes layover. That could work also. So I'm going to pretend I'm going to choose this one, right? This is where I recommend you book the second tier. Again, this is personal. You can always book the basic fare, I like the next tier up, and you can see it says popular here because it allows changes and seat choice. So changes, if for whatever reason you're not able to board this flight, say right, it's the 26th, maybe you have to delay and leave the 27th, the 28th, they won't charge you a change fee. So all you need to do is go and book another flight with American Airlines, well, in this case Delta. So go ahead and book another flight with Delta, and you won't pay any fee to change. If the new flight is more expensive, you'll have to pay the difference, but you won't lose any money, and that's great. Second is seat choice. I always choose window seats. You know, it's good to take in the views. Window seat every time, and this is pretty much why I choose this one. If you go up, you get cancellation for $27. I mean, I don't see why I would want to cancel. If you want to go that route, fine, but we're working with this. Let's book this one. All right, so this is a hotel. We're not interested. Okay, this is the flight summary page. So again, no change fees for all flights. Okay, this is the total fare. And right, so if you change your mind within 24 hours of booking, you can cancel it for free with Expedia. And here are the details. You can review, but right, so next we pick our seats. So this is the airplane layout over here, and for these ones are the ones we can choose from. So again, I think I am somewhere here, but again, window seat. So let's click here, 29A, and then next flight, because it's a two-part flight, and let's say we choose this one, and we continue booking. All right, and we go to checkout. All right, so this is the checkout page, and this is very important, so pay attention. You want to put in your name here exactly as it is in your passport. So first name, middle names, and last name. It has to be exact because this is what goes on your boarding pass. All right, so country code, phone number, receive text, passport country, in our case Jamaica, please remember to change it, mail, date of birth, and I think that's pretty much it. This is some flight insurance, but personally I couldn't care less. Yeah, then you just enter your banking card information and confirm your email. Well, this is telling you to create an account, but if you've already signed in, you won't see this section right here. And once you put in your payment, you can go ahead and click complete booking, and you're done. That's pretty much it. All right, so now that you've booked your flight, I'm going to share with you a few tips. So you want to go to tsa.gov, luggage or baggage rules, and it basically tells you what you can and cannot bring in your luggage or on your flight. And if you don't pay attention to this, when you get to the airport, they will confiscate some of your stuff. They might throw it away. So please pay attention to this. I'll leave a link in the description to all this stuff. So the second tip now is you want to bring your gadgets, your phone, laptop, tablet, cameras, whatever that stuff in your personal item, your backpack, because you always have it with you at all time, and it won't get lost or stolen or damaged or anything like that. So that's a pro tip, and you have them to use in the flight. For connecting flights, you want to get to the terminal as fast as possible. So when you just arrive in the US, you are going to go through customs and border protection. They will ask you questions, they will take your passport, they might put a stamp in it, they don't have to. If they put a stamp in it, you need to ask them what it's for, read it, see if you understand it, because it might have information you might need for your trip, important dates, etc. So ask questions. Once you get past the border protection, now you need to get to your terminal as soon as possible, because some of these airports are very, very big, and you might get lost. You might need help trying to get there. If you feel like you're lost, ask somebody for help, ask questions, look at the screens, look at the directions posted around the airport, and get there as soon as possible. Once you get there, if you want to go walk up and down, that's fine, but at least you know where it is and how to find it. Also, most flights start boarding like 30 minutes before departure time, and you need to get to the airport by 2 hours before. So when it comes to layovers now, you might say you have an hour between flights. It sounds like a lot, it's not really a lot. And in my experience at JFK, that time is basically enough to get to the terminal and start boarding. You don't really have time to waste if you have like a small layover. If you have like 3 hours or so, sure, you have extra time to walk up and down and do whatever you want. Right, so this is important. When you get to the airport, I am going to show you now an example of a boarding pass. And it doesn't have to look exact, but it's generally how they look. So when you get to the airport, you want to join the line for your airline. Every airline will have their section of the airport. So if you're flying with Delta or American, you find that section, you join their line, and when you get to the front, there's usually like a kiosk. You put in your information and print your boarding pass. If you need help, there are usually airline staff there to tell you what to do and guide you through it, so you don't need to worry about that. This is an example of how it looks, and it contains all your information. If you have a 2-part flight, you'll have 2, etc. You want to keep these and your passport in your personal item, your backpack, your purse, your handbag, so you can easily access it. Right, so looking at this, we see group 3. So you might see group A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, etc. This is the order in which they board the flight. So if you're group 3, they will board group 1, group 2, and then group 3, which you can go ahead and board. Alright, you see gate 12. The gate or terminal is the section of the airport that you're going to board the flight through. So like it says, it's a gate. You've seen those tunnels where you walk into the plane. That's your gate. And some of these airports have many gates, so that's why you want to find your gate or terminal as soon as possible. This is gate 12, but it could be gate A, it could be B, C, D, it could be A1, it could be D17. Again, some of these airports are big. And we have your seat number on your boarding pass. So this is 36J. When you get into the flight, this is how you find your seat. And yeah, the rest is just general flight information, so I wouldn't say any of this is too important. Okay, one thing for your connecting flights, if you have a checked bag, that is the ones that go in the airplane storage, you don't need to collect it between flights. So if you have 2 flights, you check it in at Montego Bay or Kingston, and you stop over at JFK, for example. When you come off your first flight, you don't need to collect your luggage. They will actually put it onto your second flight as soon as it gets there, and you only need to collect it when you arrive at your destination. So that is if you have a checked bag. I'll drop some links in the description or a pinned comment with general information of stuff you might need. Look at your airline's baggage policy. If you want to download their app on your phone to monitor your flight, get flight information at the airports, it's very important for changes, delays, stuff like that. In-flight entertainment, some of them have Wi-Fi, so it's good to download their app and create an account, so on and so forth. And just check your emails for updates. Alright, I think the final tip is, just bring snacks in your backpack or personal item, because airport food is mostly a scam. It's a ripoff. I was thirsty. I paid like $500 for a thing, which normally costs like $100 everywhere else. So, yeah, walk with your own food. You can't bring liquids or juice or water through the security checkpoint unless it's one of those tiny flight bottles. So you might need to buy water or juice, but walk with snacks as much as possible, and like some food if you need to. And I hope this video helped someone. Persons have been asking. If it did help, leave a like. If you have questions, drop a comment. And I hope you have a great time on your flight. Also share the video with a friend and consider subscribing.